Welcome to Chapter 0, where the summaries of novels and books are. Project Hail Marys, Andy Weir, 2021. Full plot summary. Part 1, Awakening. Ryland Grace wakes up alone. He has no memory of who he is, where he is, or why he's there. His body feels wrong. Gravity is weak. Two corpses lie in comas next to him. Robotic arms feed him and administer drugs. Computer screens show cryptic data he can't understand yet. Bit by bit, memory returns in fragments. He's on a spaceship. The Hail Mary. His crewmates, Yao and Ilyukina, are dead. He was supposed to be dead too. The mission plan called for all three astronauts to take lethal doses of coma-inducing drugs for the journey, with only one revival drug dose on board. Someone was always meant to be sacrificed. Why is he alive? He doesn't know. He calls the ship's computer Rocky at first, then remembers his own name, Dr. Ryland Grace. Junior high school science teacher. Not an astronaut. Not military. Not qualified. Flashbacks begin. Earth, a few years earlier. Part 2, the problem, Earth's sun is dying. Astronomers notice a strange dimming in the light from Venus. Then from other stars. Astrophysicist Dr. Irina Petrova identifies the cause, a spacefaring, light-eating microorganism she names astrophage. It reproduces exponentially in the photospheres of stars, converting light into energy and dividing. It's migrating through space on solar winds. Astrophage has infected the Sun. Earth solar output is dropping. The math is brutal. Within 30 years, Earth will enter a new ice age. Crops fail at 10% dimming. Billions will starve at 20%. Human civilization ends at 26%. Current projection, 23% dimming in 29 years. The world unites under the Project Hail Mary. A task force led by Eva Stratt, a ruthless former EU official with unlimited power, is created. Their mission, find out why astrophage hasn't infected Tau Ceti, a nearby star 12 light-years away. If Tau Ceti is immune, maybe Earth can be saved. But Tau Ceti is 12 light-years away. Even with near-light-speed travel, a round trip is impossible within the timeline. So Project Hail Mary becomes a one-way suicide mission. Send a crew, have them figure out the solution, beam the data back to Earth by radio. The crew will never return. Part 3, Why Grace? Grace isn't supposed to be on the mission. He's a disgraced molecular biologist who published a paper at age 22 theorizing about extraterrestrial life that uses light as an energy source. The scientific community mocked him. He quit research, became a middle school teacher. Stratt finds him because she needs someone who understands life that isn't carbon-based. Grace helps Petrova study astrophage. They discover astrophage lives in the extreme heat of a star's photosphere, 3,000 degrees Celsius plus. It absorbs light for energy, uses CO2 as a carbon source, and migrates by ejecting infrared light to create thrust. It's basically a living solar sail. Better news, astrophage stores energy as mass. It violates the known laws of physics by converting energy directly into mass with 100% efficiency, E equals mc squared in reverse, without waste heat. This makes it the perfect starship fuel. A few grams can accelerate a ship to 0.92 C. Stratt conscripts Grace to help design the Hail Mary, powered by astrophage farms. The crew will be Yao, a Chinese military pilot, Ilyukina, a Russian engineer, and a scientist. Grace trains them. He's not going. Then disaster, the chosen scientist is killed in an accident. The backup crew dies in a lab explosion. There's no one left with the scientific background to complete the mission. Strat drugs Grace and puts him on the ship against his will. The other two get lethal doses. Grace gets the coma drug plus revival drug. He was selected to die, but Ilyukina, in a final act of defiance against Strat, swaps the drugs. She kills herself and Yao saves Grace. She believed the mission needed a scientist, not two soldiers. Grace remembers all this now, alone, 12 light-years from home. Part 4, Tau Ceti and Rocky. Grace arrives at Tau Ceti. The star is bright, astrophage isn't killing it. But Tau Ceti's planets are infected. Except one, the system has a planet Petrova predicted, in a stable orbit, that seems immune. Then Grace detects another ship. Alien. It's parked near the same planet. First contact. The alien ship is strange, no windows, built for 5G acceleration, hull made of xenonite. Grace names the alien Rocky because his exoskeleton looks like rock and he comes from 40 Eridani, a system Earth astronomers call Rocky. Rocky is a member of a species called Iridians. They're spider-like, 5-legged, with hard carapaces, no eyes, and they seed via echolocation. They breathe ammonia at 210 degrees Celsius and 29 atmospheres. Their ship and bodies are built for extreme heat and pressure. Oxygen is toxic to them. Grace and Rocky can't talk at first. They spend weeks establishing communication through math, then science, then language. Rocky's people are also facing astrophage. Their star, 40 Eridani, is dimming. Rocky is an engineer on the same kind of desperate mission, find out why Tau Ceti is immune. They become friends. Real friends. Rocky builds things for Grace. Grace makes music for Rocky. They learn each other's languages. Rocky calls humans humans and Grace calls Iridians Iridians. Together they discover the truth, Tau Ceti isn't immune. It has astrophage. But it also has an astrophage predator, a second space microbe that eats astrophage. They name it Tormoeba. Tormoeba is why Tau Ceti is safe. It keeps astrophage in check. If Earth and Eridani can get Tormoeba, both planets are saved. Part 5, The Mission. Grace and Rocky collect Tormoeba from Tau Ceti's asteroid belt. But Tormoeba can't survive in Earth conditions or Iridian conditions. It evolved for Tau Ceti's environment. Grace does science. He breeds Tormoeba in lab conditions matching Earth, 20 degrees Celsius, 180 m, nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere. Most die. But evolution is fast with microbes. After thousands of generations in the lab, he breeds a strain of Tormoeba that survives in Earth-like conditions. It can eat astrophage and live. Rocky does the same for Iridian conditions, 210 degrees Celsius, 2980 m, ammonia. He breeds a strain for his world. Both strains work. Both planets can be saved. Now they have to get home. Problem: the Hail Mary only has enough astrophage fuel for one more .92 sea trip. Grace can go to Earth or to Eridani, not both. Rocky's ship has the same problem. They decide Grace will go to Earth with Earth Tormoeba. Rocky will go to Eridani with Iridian Tormoeba. They say goodbye. It's heartbreaking. They've saved each other's species, but will never see each other again. Part 6, The Twist and the Choice. As Grace prepares to leave, he discovers the horrible truth in his mission logs. He wasn't drugged against his will. Flashback reveals, Strat asked him to go. He said no. He's a coward. He wanted to stay on Earth and die with his students. Strat didn't drug him. She gave him a choice: voluntary coma or watch the world end. He chose the coma. He chose to run. Ilyukina knew. She swapped the drugs because she knew Grace would wake up, panic, and want to go home instead of completing the mission. She made sure Yao and herself died, so Grace had to finish the job. Grace realizes he's not a hero. He's a selfish coward who got lucky. Then Rocky's ship has a hull breach. Rocky will die if he tries to fly home. He's trapped in the Tau Ceti system. He gives Grace all his remaining astrophage fuel so Grace can save Earth. Grace now has a choice. Plan A: go to Earth. Save 8 billion humans. Rocky dies alone. Plan B: stay. Save Rocky. Breed more fuel over years, maybe decades. Earth dies. Grace chooses Rocky. He stays at Tau Ceti. He and Rocky work together. They use Iridian engineering and Grace's science to build astrophage farms. It takes 3 years. They make enough fuel for Grace to go to Eridani, not Earth. Part 7, the ending. Grace flies to 40 Eridani. He arrives at Rocky's planet. The atmosphere is lethal to him. He lives the rest of his life in a small habitat Rocky builds for him. He sends a radio transmission to Earth with all the data, Tormoeba, how to breed it, how to save the sun. The data will take 16 years to reach Earth. Earth will be in bad shape, but if they get the message, they'll survive. On Eridani, Grace becomes a teacher again. He teaches Iridian children. He's the human who saved us. Rocky becomes his best friend for life. Final line: Grace looks at the Iridian kids and thinks, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Themes: sacrifice, cowardice versus courage, friendship across impossible divides, scientific problem solving, what it means to be human. The core of the book is not the space adventure, it's that Grace, a selfish man who ran from responsibility, chooses friendship and sacrifice when it matters most. He goes from I don't want to die for Earth to I will die for my friend. Science notes: all the astrophage physics is fictional but internally consistent. Weir consulted physicists to make the relativity, time dilation, and energy calculations work. The book is 95% real science, 5% hand-waving on astrophage mass energy conversion.